Hello, me. Hello, me, sitting here on my own in my room. How are you today? I'm fine. I'm listening to Kyle over on his channel at the moment. Kyle is chatting on his channel, showing us some comic books. I'll wait till he's finished. He's going to come over here as well. Me and Kyle are going to have a chat. And if anyone wants to hang out, they can have a chat with us as well. If anyone wants a link to come in and hang out. Basically, starting from next week, me and Carl are going to be starting a show. Uh, yeah, kind of. I said I'll tell you a story about it when someone actually comes here to actually watch. Maybe I'll wait till Cal comes as well so I can tell you the truth or the falseness of it. What I'm actually going to show you, I was just looking around my room. I know it sounds really quite bad because I haven't got my proper headset and microphone or anything plugged in. You might not be able to hear that greatly. But I was just looking randomly around my room and I saw a picture that I drew when I was in school. I just found it. Like, I thought, there you go. That's a painting that I did. I've no idea how old I was when I did this, but it's a. I can't. You probably can't tell what it is. This is a horrible mess. But that's a helicopter there flying to a fire. The building on fire. That's what it's meant to be in the night time. I always on the night afterwards and just made a complete hash of it. But yeah, that's why I don't do comics myself. Yeah. I just literally looked around and found it on the side. Here's a much better picture. On by me. This is on my fanzine. I used to heavy metal fanzine. After someone did this picture for me. Yeah, this is a picture. This is the picture I took at the London dungeon. That's my mum and my auntie Anne chopping off my head. But I got the last laugh because I'm nearly still alive. That's a bit dark. Right. But yeah, unfortunate. Yeah, she's a hand. Hi. Hi. Yeah, basically, yeah, I kind of, I could post this. This is randomly show you some stuff. Anyone remember the TV show Kung Fu? Anyone remember the Kung Fu TV show? I have, uh, I have authorized edition. It's falling to pieces though. Yeah, it's got stories. Hey, Rich. Hey, Rich, I comment. I think your quiz that you did a little while ago on the channel, and I forgot to make a comment on it. When I was actually, no, I think I put that next to it. You know, I went to your quiz and I was like, leave a comment. I think I completely forgot. Reminded me. It's, woo! Got another one here as well. Woohoo! Well, grasshopper, what do you think of that? It's the 1976. The 1976 Kung Fu Annual. Allow me to read it for you now. This is a story called Kung Fu Mistaken Identity. Harry Ryan patted the bulge inside his shirt. He loved the feel of money pressing against his skin, especially since he'd won it from John Vane. A small frown crossed his rugged face. Vane got him going, rubbed him the wrong way. There was something incredibly evil in the gambler that permeated the atmosphere. Stepping into the mud of the rain-swept street, Harry noticed the hurrying shape emerge from a doorway. It wasn't until they was almost collided that he realized the other was Chen Li, the young Chinese owner of their local hand laundry. Chen glanced up, grinned, neatly sidestepped the rancher, a wave enough of a greeting on the night like this. Harry smiled, patted the passing shoulder. He was reminded of a bundle of dirty linen out at the ranch and made a mental note to bring it to Chen's the next day. Hi, Roger. You're just in time to hear my reading from the Kung Fu Annual from 1976. This is what I've decided to do on the stream today. If everyone wants me to continue my reading, then by all means leave a comment. If you'd rather I didn't, then don't leave a comment. I can give you questions about. Actually, I'll do this for Roger. David Carradine's Kung Fu Quiz. Roger, I know you happen to be a Kung Fu fan, a fan of martial arts comic books, so I'm going to give you this quiz. I have a young son Do you know his name? That's the first question on this David Carradine's Kung Fu quiz. Do you know the name of? Do you know the name of David Carradine's son? Or maybe it's the character he played in the TV show. I'm not too sure. Come on, Roger, you must know this. Come on, Richard, you must have watched Kung Fu when you was a lad. Oh, we're going to question 2 then. We're going to question 2. So there's no takers on that question. You don't know the answer, Roger? I don't know, man. Apparently, I don't know if it's his character's name or his own child's name. Apparently, they're called Free, as in FREE, Free. These days, Kung Fu is a name given to any style of Chinese fighting methods. But what does it really mean? A, to kill. B, hard work. Or C, empty-handed fighting. Here's Silver Knight Kyle to make the stream almost like a proper stream.
Hey, there we go. Sorry, I'm running a little late. But...
No worries. Oh, sorry, mate. It's a no smoking stream. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I had since I got the cancers going on in the prostate and the bladder, I always got to push liquid, and sometimes the liquid pushes back, so I had to wrap up mine and run.
Oh, yeah, I get that feeling.
And then I had to get out here and grab a cigarette before I went up and grabbed that stuff, because I'll show off Hillary's stuff again. But
I've been trying to delaying tactics, because I was waiting to see a few people turn up. Well, you've already made the announcement anyway, so.
Well, I want you to make it there too. So
yeah, that's right. That's why I'm doing the stream anyway. So if anyone comes in, we can talk to them about it. But yeah, basically, I've been reading from the 1976 Kung Fu Annual. I was just doing the quiz, and Roger so far has got 0 out of 1 question right. No, it was A, to kill, B, hard work, or C, empty-handed fighting, Roger. You made up your own answer now.
What was the question? Because the answer is empty-handed fighting.
Not according to this. It says Kung Fu means hard work, according to this quiz.
Oh, Kung Fu. I thought it was... Well, no, it means empty-handed fighting.
Well... are you arguing with this?
Yes, I am absolutely arguing with that.
This is the encyclopedia of the whole Kung Fu system, mate. Look, this is Kung Fu for the annual. This was published in London on Wardour Street. I can't believe they would have got it wrong.
It's the empty hand.
Oh well.
No, stupid me. I know why they put that on there. No, that is Kung Fu. The empty hand is karate. Karate in Japanese is empty hand.
Right, Kung Fu is hard work then, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, see, I knew the 1976 Kung Fu Annual. Couldn't possibly.
Yeah, I had that stuck in my head from karate, but yeah, that's the karate's the empty hand.
You're both 0 out of 2 so far. Question 3. Bruce Lee was the greatest Kung Fu film star of them all. What was the title of his last completed film?
His last completed film?
Yeah.
Enter the Dragon.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. There's more questions. Maybe we'll do some more questions later on. But if anyone wants to come in, give me a holler and I'll send them the link. But yeah, basically we're just gonna I think I was streaming Fallout. I was playing Fallout, and Carl was in there chatting to me and dropping poems, limericks, or whatever the heck they were, into the chat. And he was talking about because I said I've been talking for a while about wanting to maybe go through my comic books again, doing a stream, just going through my boxes again, but with people there as guests to talk about the comics. And hopefully live, so people in chat can talk about the comics as well, any memories they got of them and all that. And you were saying, because you're always doing your streams as well, and I was saying maybe you should do it as like a regular. I don't know, we got onto the subject, and it ended up, I said, well, why don't we do it on my channel? We can just, I can show my comic books on my boxes. You can, we can just generally chat. You can show some comics as well. And then 5 minutes later, you're sending me all this stuff about, we can have guests, we can do this, we can do that. I'm going to get this person on, that person on. I'm like, oh my God, what's going on?
Yeah.
Animal. I give you a small nugget and you turn it into a monster. But yeah.
So what I tend to do, I tend to work kind of quick. I tend to get stuff done, It's like I mentioned on mine, it's my ever intention to get Mick Jones on before the end of the year.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I'll
So
let you. I'll let you. I'll let you be the question master, and I just make the occasional safe comment or something. I just go.
well, and that's why I said that's why I called Mark today and talked to him while he was
Yeah,
in Spain. I said, you know the name Hillary Barty? He said, it sounds awful familiar. And I said, Plastic Man. He said, oh yeah. And I said, oh yeah, by the way, Gray told me about SpongeBob. And he's in the SpongeBob books, and he just lit up like a Christmas tree. He's like, we're in
trying to
business
get the
here.
full run.
So he'll do a lot of Q&A with that because I don't want to take advantage of my buddies, but I'll show for them. I have no shame whatsoever. I mean, I woke up this morning with this face. Anybody knows me knows I ain't got no shame if I put this face out there.
Yeah,
So, and I ain't put my teeth in 3 years because of everything going on with me. So I figured, well, what the hell? I'm gonna go live. I ain't my, putting my teeth in ain't gonna make me prettier. I figure all those boys when they put me in a
I didn't even
casket.
realize you had any teeth in, mate. I didn't even realize. I didn't. Not something I ever noticed, to be honest.
Yeah, I had receding gum issues, and my gums were bleeding right about the time my neck got busted. It's all my neck's all but broken.
Uh,
I got C6 and C7 vertebrae damage, and it was supposed to be fused. And right before I was able to go in for the fusing, when I got all the medical stuff taken care of, they spotted a cancer. A month after that, they spotted another cancer, both of them very aggressive. Thought I was going to die. So, hey, Ben, how are you? Straight out of Ben Compton. You out of Compton, Ben, or are you over in the UK? Compton already. Hello, hello.
the Ben Crampton as well. It used to be called Straight Out Crampton, but now
Yeah.
it,
Man, I'm gonna get a new phone. Hopefully my crappy speaker doesn't peter out, but I'm gonna get a new phone this week. And
yeah, I haven't got my microphone on my camera. I'm only using I'm using the onboard one. That's why my picture's so crap, and possibly my sound might be a bit crap as well.
I figure by the end of the year or sometime sooner, I'm gonna figure out a computer setup where I can actually host a StreamYard and stuff like that on my channel, which I could.
Yeah.
I could host one on my channel, but it'd be kind of weak sauce where I get 500 subscribers and I can share platforms. Then I can really expand it. But, you know, I'm also not too much of a people person for being a social butterfly I am. So I got to find a fine line. I was talking to my wife last night about something else too. If I put my mind to it and I really wanted to, we could get Barack Obama on the show for about a half an hour.
Really? Okay, we'll see if that happens.
I don't know if he'd want to talk comics or anything. I want to talk pop culture, at least with people that come on. But, if I put my mind to it, I could have Barack Obama.
Fair
And I
enough.
could. I mean, that's not even a debate. I could.
All
But,
right, we'll see, mate. You're writing all these
but,
checks. See if you're asking Casham later on down the line.
but
Then
yeah, I mean, who would want it? People would want it. But again, I'd keep it to pop culture, not politics, because that's what I want. I want pop culture. I want to talk comics. Hill's big on old Hollywood movies. You talk about a man of trivia when it comes to old movies and black and whites. That guy is just kid right.
Conan comics. I'm not sure if Sleepy Reader is pulling our leg.
There is a comic connection mildly, but
He was in some comics as
and
well.
he was in the Spider-Man comics and stuff. He acknowledged that, but
Savage Dragon. I think he always puts them on the covers, doesn't he? Whenever a new president comes in, I think that's the thing he does. But okay,
but yeah, I'm a big name dropper. But I'm the kind of guy that if I want to talk to somebody again, I will. And I know how to get in touch with people. I mean, I can get in touch with Bill Clinton if I wanted to, but I don't really want to. And again, what are we going to talk about? Old music and stuff like that. And I could probably coach them into something like this.
I'll be into comic books.
But what was the other absurd one that would have been good? I don't know. Stuff just keeps. I get this stuff going. I get a bugaboo.
But I think. I mean, I'm not really worried about I mean, I just think we'll start at 8 because, or half 7 or 8, because I've got to talk to Lisa at 7 most nights, and so we're going to do it, didn't we? So I do think maybe we just carry on for as long as we want to. Like, could do an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever.
Yeah.
If anyone wants to come in as well, then they're welcome to. And I don't know if we're going to have it in sections. Like we might have like someone to chat to at some point, or we might just be a few people hanging out and whoever wants to show some comic books can show some comic books. Just do it like that. We need names though. We need a name for the show, guys. Come and give us. Come, let's have some names in the chat about what they think. You was
crusty old codgers shooting the cock and bull.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, I was thinking, we could even talk sports, but y'all don't like hockey over there that much. But I bet I could pull off a Wayne Gretzky visit. But again, that'd be boring as hell to people around the world. My Canadian buddies would love it. But
yeah, well,
get Wayne Gretzky to say hi. Oh, I got to drop just a few more names. How many more names?
Yeah. Roger's asking about my Halloween videos that I do. If I am going to do them, I need to pull my finger out and get working on those. Actually, there's one that Jackson Roy Kirk wants to do, but I said to send us the sound files and I'll put it together. And I'll try and dig out some more. If anyone in the chat wants to take part in the 30 Nights of Halloween, I don't know, yeah, then choose a comic that you want to convert. And I know Roger normally picks his own comic book to do the voices for. You'll probably pick out an obscure Charlton. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Maybe we'll do 13. Maybe I'll just do a couple of those.
Would do Halloween before I wrap up. Before I head upstairs. Well, I got to head upstairs to hit a light switch, but before I get back around the comic books, I'm going to walk everybody around the front yard here in my house. You talk about ridiculous, over-the-top Halloween. My wife's all about Halloween, and our new daughter-in-law is all about it.
Few people dig it, yeah. I'm gonna do another kung fu question just to keep the chat occupied.
Yeah, those trivia questions would be great too. Like when I was showing first appearances and things like that. I think doing a segment of this is awesome.
I started off like when no one was watching, but literally I was looking around the room thinking, what should I do while I'm waiting for Kyle to turn up? And I literally saw this on the side. I painted this when I was in school. Just literally lying on the side.
Awesome.
Mess. It's like I was always. This is why I don't work in comic books, because my art obviously is certainly not. This is supposed to be a fire. It's supposed to be a building on fire.
I see it. I see it.
That's why I shared that, because there he is. I don't have to ask me why. Yeah, let me ask this question. Can you name the 2 American stars who acted with Bruce in Enter the Dragon?
2 American stars? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Chuck Norris?
No. In Enter the Dragon? Not in Enter the Dragon.
Really? Jabbar wasn't in that?
No, he was in a later one, wasn't he?
There isn't a later one than Enter the Dragon.
No, it wasn't actually. It was an earlier one then. What is the one he's fighting Chuck Norris? No, but Enter the Dragon was John Saxon and
John Saxon. Yeah, Saxon's on the cover of Deadly Hands of Kung Fu 17 that Adams did. That's Saxon fighting with Bruce Lee on that. So
I'll tell you word for it. You got the question wrong, but
who else was it other than Saxon?
Knowledge. Sorry.
Who else was it other than Saxon?
Billy, black fella, big tall black fella, wasn't he?
Billy who?
Bill Saxon.
No, Bill Saxon. Bill Saxon looks like Bill Musings.
Yeah, no, and Will Kelly.
Or John Saxon.
Jim Kelly. Yeah, I know John Saxon. He was the one who didn't get killed. He was another one in the contest. And he got killed by the guy with the metal hand.
Yeah.
This is West Ham football program from the day after I was born. So West Ham played our enemy, Tottenham Hotspur.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
You're not a Spurs fan, are you?
Oh no! I'm a very small fan of a lot of things around the world. I like to follow certain teams, like I'm not a big cricket guy, but
no,
I know a little bit about it. I love Aussie rules football, but if I had a gun to my head and had to pick a historical team that I liked out of football, it was Tottenham.
Oh well, there's no accounting for taste.
So yeah, you just have to change me. I mean, I haven't jumped on the Wrexham board yet because of Ryan Reynolds, but you're gonna have to change me from that. But yeah, just I always liked Wayne Rooney just for randomness because I thought he was such a knob. And then
right, he didn't play for he didn't play for Tottenham though, did he?
But no, he didn't play for Tottenham. He played for Man U.
Yeah, fair enough.
But he was Man U. But if I had to pick a team, it was always Tottenham. So I got to fix that. From Virginia. Yeah, VA, a long way from Compton. But I mean, Virginia, there's some parts of Virginia that could be Compton. Oh God, why am I paper locking? Where Michael Vick's from?
All I know about Virginia is Queen Elizabeth I. That's all I know. Virgin Queen.
So Newport News, Virginia, is pretty damn close to Compton. But every major city has their ghettos and their hardships. It kills me in Washington, D.C. You stand in front of the Arlington National Cemetery, which I even say the name, I get goosebumps. My mom wants me to be buried there with full honors, but I don't want to do it. But you stand in front of Arlington National Cemetery and you look to the right, and it's the White House. Right. And you got all this amazing stuff, and you look to the left, and it is just dilapidated ghetto and horrible.
All right.
And it's heartbreaking. I mean, it's miles apart, but I mean, you can just see it. How, here's the greatness of America, and here's the, how pitiful that you can have these billion-dollar buildings in a line of sight to apartment complexes that are just dilapidated with, just gut-wrenchingly awful.
Yeah.
So, but now my travels around the world, it's just, oops, I forgot my drink. Now my travels around the world are just virtual. I can't be bouncing around as much as I used to.
No.
I got a lot of guys I need to drink with in the UK from London to Liverpool. So
virtual's easier. Virtual's a lot easier.
But
less wear and tear on the knees doing everything virtually.
But yeah, here before I go pulling out more Hillary hype to run with that, I'm gonna go turn these things on and give you an idea. Let me go ahead and plug this in to give you an idea of my front room. How many people with a Halloween tree in their house?
Oh yeah, I saw a Halloween tree in the pub I was in the other day. Somebody just took a Christmas tree and put a skull on top of it.
I ain't got these put outside right now, but there's.
I got first appearance of the Hillary.
Yeah, there you go. I can't stand Trump. I can't stand that whole ideology. Pence and them wanted to send one of my kids to basically a concentration camp. I can't get on board with that. Not big into politics, but I'm much rather left than right wing. Hold on, I ain't gonna walk out yet with that. Get this. Hold on, puppy. I'm gonna get stuff turned on here. Oh, gotta hoof it upstairs to turn this on first. Oh,
cheers, Rich.
Busy day.
I've been trying to sell that one on eBay for months. This one, I think I'm a bit late now.
You almost can't give that thing away.
Against each other.
Let me make sure this inflatable goes up, and then, God, I really want to get my wife on one of these shows so I can talk about the fact that a beautiful woman fell in love with me. So, I got lucky. So I got to figure this out and how to not turn my camera around. This looks a lot different lit up in the nighttime, but this will give you an idea how Halloween. I mean, I'm Mr. Santa Claus at Christmas. That's
the teenage
that's the holiday I shine. But and then it's lit up so much I can't even see behind me. But I give a walk by at just how ridiculous some of this stuff is.
I can't see any decorations yet.
As I
Oh yeah.
That one, huh? Well, where was that just tied off to?
Was it falling apart?
Oh, I just kicked a string that ties one of these things off, and I don't even know where.
You're not allowed to go out there and sabotage decorations.
Ginormous.
You're not allowed to sabotage decorations, mate. She'll be out with her broom to give you a whack.
Yeah, she loves being a witch. I mean, these things tower over me, and I'm like 2 inches short of 6 foot, maybe. You know, bending over in old age, but these things are enormous.
How much candy do you give away on Halloween?
As much as the kids will take. So
you're very busy there.
Yeah, we love setting up out here, weather permitting. Let's get this thing stood up.
Are you going to dress up?
A big Nightmare Before Christmas fan.
All right. Yeah, I thought that was I've never watched that film. I've never watched it.
But got things climbing the house.
Oh yeah. Hey, time traveler.
Big old cat. Can you see the cat up above the big old cat up above the thing ready to pounce? You talk about horror. Got all these lights going on here.
Some skulls I see buried in the ground.
Just every which way. Just way too much Nightmare Before Christmas, just taking up everything over here. And then the one I helped do, because the girls did most of it. The wife's all about the horror. So, nice to glow in the dark stuff falling out of the ground at people.
Do you watch horror movies?
Huh?
Does she watch horror movies?
No. She watches stuff like
Halloween.
Nightmare Before Christmas. I mean, she's a murder mystery kind of person. She watches all that Discovery ID stuff on.
All right, real life.
Real life silly shit. But yeah, that's my.
The actual detective shows, Lisa.
Yeah, because she was almost a detective. She
went
to college for it, but she decided to do a family instead.
Maybe this whole marriage is her being undercover to try and get the goods on you.
Yeah, I'm too open with the goods. And my goods are mediocre nowadays. So.
Yeah, that wasn't quite what I meant, but there you go.
Shut all this up for now.
What else
have I got? Back up over here.
A Masters of the Universe annual.
There you go.
This is a rather British TV show, Master William, annual 1978. And Blue Peter. Blue Peter annual. That was a long-running children's TV show.
I always hate when I get to Blue Peter. But then my Rick Mayall story, I always love telling those. But Rick Mayall's Blue Peter upside down badge on his outfit.
Oh yeah. And look at this weird thing. There's some guy on here wrote a story, Rod or something or other. Real dodgy looking sort. What happened to the second one of these, Roger? Did they do the second one in the end? Roger Metarog did a short story on it. I'm not even got around to reading this yet, to be honest. I haven't got around to reading it. I've had it for 2 years.
So, yeah, speaking of horror.
Oh, cheers, mate. Happy hump day, everybody. Happy hump day.
There you go. Here, before I put these back up, because I didn't know if you saw me going through my Pacifics, here's some cat horror for you.
All right. That's Polish cat.
Discreetly covered boobage.
A random postcard.
There you go. I love old postcards.
I've got, oh man, at least there's a pile of letters here. I open letters and just put them on the side kind of thing. It's like pension letters and crap like that. It's like, oh, Can't bother dealing with it.
If you want to see an old run of 80s horror, 80s amazing horror,
Twisted
Tales 1, Richard Corbin.
I went hunting with Zars from Australia. He was in London for a bit.
Yeah.
He's gone off to Scotland now. But I went hunting with him and his missus. We only managed to get into 2 shops in the end. I was planning for 4, but it turned out I realised that one was shut on a Tuesday, rather annoyingly. So we didn't bother with that one. I don't think I could have managed 4 anyway. I think my feet would have given out.
Yeah.
There's a back issue magazine.
Beauty. Pat Broderick cover.
Werewolf by Lunchtime gave me this.
Nice. He's in Australia too, isn't he?
Yeah, he's English, but he lives in Australia now. Yeah, he's moved to Australia. This is an old UK comic, Daredevils.
Nice.
Actually, there's an article in here by Alan Moore talking about women in comics, like female characters, and I was going to actually do it for my channel at some point. I never got round to it, but I must get round to it. I must stop being lazy. Even if no bugger watches them, I should still make the videos anyway.
Here's a beautiful zombie comic for you.
Oh yeah. You never know what's going to take off. Have you got any full runs of any horror titles? Are you a full run
right there? No, not really. I mean, I'm missing like the year-end series thing, but no, my completionist thing so far consists of X-Men Annual 1 through 25, and I'm gonna get all of the original run of the Defenders, but you know, I'm not about complete. I'm about owning it, reading it, passing it on. So, like I said earlier, I'm even letting go of my Batman 15 here soon.
Yeah, you're telling me you sorted out a deal for it.
I'm getting there. I'm working on it, but I'm getting there. But yeah, everything transferred through my hands.
Lars is trying to get X-Men 1, and so he's like buying things that he could then sell on at a profit. Apparently, he was saying that the comics here, he could sell them, buying them here, he could sell them for a lot more in Australia because they're hard to get out there. So they get more money for them.
Yeah.
So probably going to make a killing and try and save up to get his X-Men 1. So that'd be cool.
I'm thinking my original art to that DC Bible Treasury, I might trade that for something like an X-Men 1. Did you see, I wrapped up with, I'd imagine you went back to live, but I wrapped up with a couple of rarities that I had sitting over my shoulder that I thought you might enjoy. I may or may not have shown you these before.
I was listening, but I had it on.
You remember the Batman Grendel series in '92?
I think they got that Wagner, isn't it?
Yeah, this is the advanced preview distributor's copy from 2 years before it.
Yeah.
2 years before, and it's all the...
It takes 2 years to get together, does it?
Yeah, it took 2 years for this to see print.
Wow.
But yeah, this is single-sided Xerox's, an advanced distributor's copy.
Where do you find all these things anyway? You like his specialist group, like you
when I find them. I mean, this is one of the few things that goes back 22 years or whatever when I got this one. But you know, my old comic shops, antique shops, online, just wherever. I got a nose for it. And then this is the holy crap. And I imagine Roger's watching again. This is going to make Roger just drool. Can you name the artist, Graham?
I did see you show it, I think, but I was too busy setting out. I didn't see. No. Is it an early burn you were saying earlier on?
John Byrne.
Yeah.
John Byrne before he was a pro, and then this book also has Stan Sakai stuff when he was a teenager. Nice little Gil Kane black cat too. But yeah.
All much crap lying around. It was my birthday just a month ago today. It was a month ago today. I just found birthday cards, not from this year's birthday, but it was either last year's birthday or the year before. I'm not even sure. Yeah, interesting.
Year-round birthdays.
Yeah, just crap lying around. Hey, look, is a rather old picture of me.
Well, there you go.
This is the day before I could grow a decent beard.
Stylish and handsome fella there.
I only had one chin, but I grew the beard to hide the extra chins that I now have.
There you go.
Yeah, got to be done. Has to be done. It hides a multiple of chins, the old beard.
And while I'm sitting up here by it, our guest next week, kids, Hillary Barda.
He's up.
There's stuff to his Patreon. Yep. And you know what? On my channel, I showed off all this stuff, and I didn't show off the art he did for me. I'm just kicking myself now. Here's something he did for me for Christmas.
That's cool. But is that like something he put somewhere else? Or is that an exclusive one that he did for you?
Oh, this is just me. That's just something he doodled together and sent to me. So, and then this one, he did a SpongeBob for my grandsons, just standing on top of a rock underwater, said, "Welcome to Bikini Bottom, Alistair." Then this is his drawing of me. Pay no attention to the extra tentacle.
Oh my gosh. How is that you? I mean, you know, it's not exactly.
This is me monsterized, if you will.
Okie dokie. That's what you look like if you was a monster. Hello, Frugal Mama.
Chasing around the pretties with my extra tentacle. I forgot to show those on my live there. I feel kind of silly.
Uncanny likeness to Carl, apparently.
Tentacle porn, yes it is. Yeah. But yeah, this is.
You've got a fan. Sleepy Red is a fan.
Some of the stuff he did for him. Certainly, that's some of the stuff. I send him stacks of comics up to Chicago, and he signs them for me. But like he did the inks on Wolverine 50, he did the inks on X-Men Annual 18 here. There's a signature on there for me.
Yeah.
And my favorite was his first pro work he did for Marvel, which I don't believe they had Pence copies when they had this little thing up in the corner. But
is that the one you said you were trying to collect all the variants of?
Yeah. Yeah. Anything global.
Right. I'll have to check my
115. Because, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, that's got different ones for UK.
The UK is already there in the corner, then that should be the only one, I should think.
And then this is the Canadian variant.
Right, okay, maybe there is a variant then.
So he's got some extra already doodled on there and even doodled on the back.
Oh yeah, I saw they showed off earlier. I think if I just look on metal on 115, wasn't it?
And then the Australian one, which has multiple issues in it, but that was his first Marvel work.
MyComicShop.com normally shows you if there's a UK variant. There's a Canadian price variant. So there's free for Defenders 115 on MyComicShop.com. You've got the normal version. You've got the Scent version. Then you've got the Mark Jewelers version. I don't know if you got that one yet.
I don't care if it's Mark Jewelers or
not. Okay.
I honestly think that American might be the Mark Jewelers. No, it isn't. But then with this Australian one, I made the joke here. If she was into comics, I bet I could get her on too, but we're not going to go into that. If you ain't heard my stories about that, you're probably not going to hear them on our channel.
Who is that? Cyndi Lauper or something? Madonna? Oh, it's Madonna. Yeah, I see it now.
I have intimate knowledge. I'll leave it at that.
You got bribery material, yeah?
No, just intimate knowledge.
Okay.
Friends of friends that kind of introduced us. We've
does anybody use these blinking hardcover things, the top loaders?
I want those so bad. I haven't gotten any yet, but I want them.
They are a pain in the butt. They don't fit in the box properly. They don't fit in the box. It's like they made it like they need to be like a couple of millimeters thinner so they can go in the boxes properly. They kind of like fit like kind of stupidly. They really
probably needs to go into a magazine box.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm not going to be buying extra bloody boxes. I just only got it because someone sent it in the blinking top loader. The only my lights and the only top loaders I have are ones that were sent to me. I literally go for the cheapest beginning bag balls I can find, and I back and front them to save more money.
So you a cricket fan, Graham?
Yeah, I like a bit of cricket. I've been cricket a few times with my brother. You know, you go to cricket, it's like an event. Like me and my brother used to go. We get drunk, have a picnic, fall asleep for the afternoon, and yeah,
The
good
number
fun.
one cricketer from 120 years
Yeah,
ago.
who is that? Bradman.
This ain't Bradman. This is pre-Bradman.
All right, so not a well-known name then.
He was the number one cricketer at the time. I can't. What was his name? Precos or something. I'd have to look it up again. But that was Bradman before Bradman.
Okay, how long ago would you say it was?
1902.
Oh, well, yes, that's before, right? Okay, that was the only big name I could think of.
So,
So,
but yeah, that's about
how
20 years before Bradman started.
how did you come across that then? You just found it like in a curiosity
Sniffing
shop?
around, just sniffing around, looking for stuff like these. 1800
Yeah,
sports
I
stuff.
saw some of them. You were showing them some of them. I saw them the other day on
Yeah,
your channel.
it's a bit
Going through.
ridiculous with this stuff. But while we're on here, I'm gonna start shuffling stuff back so the grandkid can get up through here, and I can scoot up
Right.
the stairs and keep on this
Yeah,
conversation.
you collect a bit of everything, didn't you? I haven't got the room. I don't even collect statues or anything like that. It's just this. I was chatting to Zars, and he was telling me how big his place is over there in Oz. And like it's like massive. They got more land out there. They got more space. Like same in
Yeah,
America, and they're bigger places. But like, yeah, my house ain't tiny, but it ain't big. I'll, I'll see if anyone see. This is how comfortable my room. This is my bedroom. Like got up here. You've got my bed over there. We've got scared up. Umpteen boxes on the floor down here with stuff piled on top of it. I don't know if you can see it all, but
yeah.
bloody mess. There's more up there as well. But yeah.
I've got bookshelves in about every room, and then my library, and then stuff like this. My 1769 French Royal Library book.
Okay.
That's the French Royal stamp right there. That's the French Royal crest. And
I've
then
got,
these,
I've got a reprint of a Victorian porn book on my shelf.
and then the old coinage. Well, I'm still looking at this stuff. The Jerusalem widow mite. I don't know who Kim Jong Gi is. Jerusalem widows mite. There's a penny. There's a 2,000-year-old penny in Aramaic.
Okay. They probably weren't called a penny though, were they? Surely they weren't called a penny.
No, it's a shekel. It's a widow mite. And that's a bronze Holy Roman Empire. There's a Augustus Flavius.
Right. He's pretty worn out.
Yeah, nice old bronze coin that was sitting there. But
Is that supposed to be him on the back as well?
no, it's little lady with a ewer with a picture there.
All right. Would it be a goddess like Aphrodite or something?
Oh, the artist. That's who that was.
I can't say I know him. Never heard of him. Not as far as I know. My bloody. If you see my camera moving about, because I'm whacking my blinking computer to try to stop the blinking fan from whirring. There's a fan that keeps whirring every now and again, and I have to give it a good smack to get it back in place.
Actually, I think I'm going to leave these out since they're going to be relevant. They're going to be relevant next week.
Pop art apparently.
I'm going to keep the Hillary stuff handy.
Was he old, young? Was he like a legend or? Yeah, I'm not that familiar with Korean pop art. Well, not at all familiar. I won't finish it. Not in the slightest bit familiar. There you go. I've got some comics I'm supposed to be sending to Kyle and Roger. I haven't got around to it yet. I've got to go to the post office this week, so I might send them this week. They've got nice big covers on them. That's the good thing about these ones. They're bigger than the. It's not quite Treasury size, I don't think. but they're just quite bold. These would be nice up on the wall. Oh, wait, he's pretty young, was he? Only in his 40s. Okay, that's sad.
You want to see funny old pictures of me, Graham?
Yeah, go on then. I want to see you in your new wave days when you had like flouncy shirts and long hair. And do you have them days?
This is a little post New Wave.
In the army? No, sorry, the
Marines. I'm just outside of North Korea right there.
So is the Marines a branch of the army, or is it a branch of the Navy?
No, branch of the Navy.
Right, yeah, because the Marine kind of is a giveaway.
Yeah.
We have the Royal Marines, don't we, over in
Yeah.
the UK? Royal
I'm
Marines,
the equivalent to a Royal Marine.
Yeah.
That's me in South Korea. That tree line is the DMZ. That mountain is in North Korea. That's how close I was right there.
Raid my cave. Well, you should have come and visited me then, Wormy. You should have given me a shout when you was here. Too late now, mate.
Vietnaman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got Willie Mays autograph and a Rick Nielsen Cheap Trick pick waiting for him. So
I joked that he was my mortal enemy. I was trying to get some beef going so we could grow our channels through having shouting matches with each other, and but yeah, I don't think he wanted to play.
my hippie days.
Oh, right. Which one are you? The
Really?
ball one limit. Okay.
I don't look too different, just a little less gray. Managing bands days.
One busy mama is here as well. Hey, 1B.
Writing music.
Was you actually in a band, or just doing?
We've been in a couple bands just dicking around, but there's a story here. The good thing my wife's not here, but that's 2 of the 4 of the Bud girls that I entertained for the 500 one year.
Bud, as in Budweiser.
There were 5 girls on a Budweiser billboard right outside the track. Here's 2 of them and 2 of their friends and me. And I have witnesses.
Where were your hands? I say.
Oh, this is after the fact.
Right.
This is one of my conquests.
Can you tell me if you've got like a racetrack around the back of your house or something, or within?
Yeah, quite literally. The ORP, the drag strip is, I can throw a rock and almost hit it.
Right. I was drag racing. Roger wants to hear more about the time you entertained the Bud ladies.
Does he really? Yeah.
He wants to.
I earned a lifetime reputation that weekend. I earned a lifetime reputation.
That could be a what do you call it? That could be a feature on our show. Confession.
I wore out 4 of them. I won.
What do you reckon? Confession time with Roger could be a regular feature. Someone comes on, confesses to Roger what they've been up to.
I wore out 4 of them, and they came out knock-kneed, and I came out to get a beer. So, in my prime, I was something to be reckoned with. Yeah, here you go. All right, Roger. Don't shoot no. Don't drink nothing because you shoot stuff out of your nose. There's me and my brothers in the early '80s.
Okay, how many brothers you got? Just 2?
Yeah, one of them's passed away now, and another one's in a nursing home. Just got out of hospital. There's me and Daisy Dukes. There you go. There's a look for you. Look at all that pompadour ass hair and that skinny little ass.
How long did the hair last?
Until I went to Marines in '88, and it's pretty much gone.
I reckon you could pull off this look, mate. Just grow your beard out a little. Grow your beard out a little. I reckon you could pull that look off easy.
How about 1960 Spanky there? Oh, man. One of my brothers is, when I was Santa, and my brother's sitting on my lap.
I've been Santa a couple of times at heavy metal gigs.
My wayward youth. This right here is that's who I was when I started collecting comics. That's 1978, 79.
Right.
That's when I picked it up. So, all right, there's some funny ones for now. I ain't digging too much further with these things. So, yeah, 1980.
Right.
Just all the hair looking like Sting, being all kind of too cool for my damn self. So, yeah, that's enough of that silliness for now. They got some bigger ones later.
I've never been cool.
I can claim not being cool, but then I was a Marine, so anybody seen me a picture? I mean, if I can't say I haven't never been cool because there's this. Hold on, I know it's right up front here. Me running up a 30-foot rope there.
Oh God, blimey! I couldn't do that when I was in school. When I was young and had health, I couldn't get up a bloody rope.
The bullets we shot when I was in Cuba.
Oh God, yeah.
Them are just a little bit big. That's a 120-pound bullet right there.
Yeah, screw that, man. Not for me.
Too much.
I was a member of the St. John's Ambulance once. That's almost as good as the Marines.
Then there's a funny story with this one. That's me drunk and passed out on a Japanese beach.
Okay.
That's a 12-pack of Budweiser under my arm in that bag there, and that can on my belly button sat there for 45 minutes. My buddy took pictures and laughing because I was drunk, passed out, snoring.
Yeah.
And for 2 weeks, I had a ring around my belly button, wouldn't go away because I was pasty white right there on my belly button.
Well, you had a big suntan. You got a suntan apart from the little.
Apart from the beer ring, but yeah, I gotta claim a little cool for like that right there.
Right.
A little bit of cool. And then my Rocky Horror cool. Then my male modeling days cool. But I had some cool moments. I'll suffice it to say that I had some cool moments. Right. Kind of like this. I'm having a cool moment right here. So.
Good. Glad to hear it.
Now I gotta scoot this stuff out of the way so the grandkid can get in his room.
But when we do the show, like I say, anyone wants to come in, be a guest at any time, just give us a shout. It's going to be Wednesday, normally from 8 p.m. UK time, the proper time. All time comes from the UK, so you should all work your time by our time because we invent it here. We churn it out in Greenwich in the time factory, and we ship it out to the rest of the world. So you should all work by our time. And if anyone wants to come on,
there's me walking around the Marvel Comics' office.
That's right. You said what happened with that? You said you just walked in, didn't you?
Yeah, I got to wander around there. All right, now I move this.
I'll just throw you out.
They let me in. I wasn't supposed to be in there, but they thought I'd talk my way in because, yeah, I could talk my way into anywhere, but I talked my way into there. And
you didn't pretend you was the telephone repairman or something like that?
Nope. Told them who I was, what I wanted, why I was there. They said, come on up.
Okay.
Only one person got mad, and I said, I'm not interrupting anybody. I'm not going to bother anything with this. I'm just here to say hi. Okay. They showed me around to a few things, got some great stories. That was all real sweet to me, and said, okay, now you can go. I said, thank you.
Did you any more pictures?
So, but I was actually in New York for a poetry thing for my mom.
Okay.
And the hotel she was reading at was the Chelsea.
Your mom did poetry, yeah?
Yeah, she's a kind of renowned writer and poet. Okay. And we were in there for that, and we were at the Chelsea Hotel down on the first floor, directly underneath room 101 and 102. You know what happened at Chelsea in room 102?
Nope.
It has something to do with Sex Pistols.
Oh, that's not where Nancy died, is it? I think
that is where Nancy died. My
Oh,
mom did a reading directly under where Nancy died.
okay.
And I went out to have a cigarette mid-show, and Robert De Niro walked in.
All right.
So
Watching your
that was
poetry.
a neat little day.
Okay.
But my mom's like an artsy fartsy poet and writer, and
Yeah.
I pride myself on being a Vogon poet. My mom's more Nancy Millstone Jennings, Paula Nancy Millstone Jennings.
What about the Swans?
But
She's the first. She's the world's worst. She's the university's worst poet, isn't she? Nancy Stone Jennings.
yeah, but I joke with my mom about that. You know, like the old sayings, even good poetry comes from even bad poetry comes from good inspiration too.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, my mom's got her own writing style. You know, about street lamps and purple glows on asphalt and stuff like that.
I've kind of got a strange thing. Poetry. I'm bloody not a drinking culture at all, but I used to do a poem a day on my channel. I did a poem a day on my channel because I make that some poetry. So I do a poem a day, and also on my heavy metal podcast, I literally have poetry corner. I have double of the day. You have two tracks with the same name or similar thing, and in between I recite a poem. I just randomly search online. It's more to troll people really than actually though I actually have any love of poetry. But and also I think I like the sound of my own voice. So
There you go. Yeah, I did an online poetry thing like 6, 7 years ago with Romeo Tango. Plugged me into an Asian contingent. Take care, Richard. I did an online poetry thing out of New Zealand that Romeo had plugged me into, and they highlighted me for 3 weeks virtually.
Okay.
Because I'd encourage his poetry. That's why all the stuff from Romeo always says, thanks for the encouragement. Thanks for writing with me, yada, yada, yada. And then my other big brag while we're talking about music here. Nice little CD, little music credit right there to Mr. Andrews, who wrote this song that was produced by Quincy Jones.
Okay.
Quincy Jones and Babyface have produced something I wrote.
All right. Well,
even though honestly it was
the music.
You
got the lyrics or the music?
Music.
Okay.
And music and lyrics. This is the musical version of it. There's not lyrics on top of that one, and it's a variation of what I'd originally written. Because what I write, the lyrics are intricate. I write like a poet, and I scale it down. The music I write is single note, ding, 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 ding. And then you hear this stuff, and it sounds like frickin' raindrops because these guitarists are so amazing, you know. So they got, because of that, because of this particular take on that, because it's done in, I've had it done in 7 different musical styles.
Right.
That one's the elevator porn, as my kids call it. Just the musical, but as far as the production of that one, they contributed to the variation of the music, so they got joint credit on that CD. But the actual sheet music, I wrote it all.
Okay.
Music and lyrics. But again, what I wrote was Twinkle Twinkle Little Star with lyrics, and then they made it this just big fancy, you know, they're like, it's the same notes, but it's just played differently, and you know, adds to the runs and whatever.
They made you just made the basic and they made it sparkle kind of thing.
Yeah, they made it sparkle.
Cool.
I'd be willing to play it on here if anybody actually wants to hear it. I could throw it in the Xbox and see if the sound can come through for it, but
they get a copyright strike. Or is it your own version?
It's mine. It's my song. I'm not going to copyright strike it. It's my song.
No, but I wasn't doing your own version.
So, I mean, they contributed, but you know, it wouldn't get a strike on it. But I don't know if it'd convey through the speaker or not. But
we'll try it. I don't see why not.
It'd be a little fun here. Bring my setup into my Xbox before the grandson comes tearing through here. And it's just updated, so I'll be able to turn this thing right on real quick. See if I can get this at a good spot where it comes in. Oh, there we are. That out.
Bye, Roger.
4 is a 4.
We're scaring them all off. We're scaring them all off. Richard's gone. Roger's gone.
Oh no! Right before I put my music on. Come on, man.
But is it your version or is it Quincy Jones' version you're going to play?
This is the true producer of the record is Quincy Babyface's little brother, who did in like 90% of the production.
Okay.
But Babyface and Quincy Jones were there, and they helped. So their fingerprints are on it. So I can brag about Quincy Jones producing something I wrote, even though it's minimal, but still. All right, now let's see if this comes through.
What's it say on the CD then? Does it say? Yeah, I saw you in the credits. Who's it on the front of the CD? Whose album is it, or is it just
Joe Harrison? Is
Joe
that
Harrison
coming through?
Yeah, slightly. Yeah.
Let me see. Let me pull this out of here. Yeah, I got my version of that has an autograph bookmark tucked in with it. See, is this too close? Is it taking it out there? You go up a little bit here. And that's a couple of guitars. It sounds like all kind of different things, but what it actually is a couple of guitars.
I thought it was like keyboard. Keyboard.
Yep, and that's guitars. Just the stuff set up on it. But yeah, that's what my kids call the elevator porn version of it.
Yeah. There's a dog and a superhero fighting over a beer. That's different.
Yeah. But the band Joe Harrison's in now, it's called New 80, NU80.
Oh, right.
And the drummer is from Collective Soul. The violin player is from Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Okay.
So, yeah, he's yeah. Yeah. He's a legit musician, so. Leave that on there. Go back to this. But yeah, that's just a taste of my music. I got too many stupid brags over the years, and it kind of annoys people. That's why I tend not to talk much at all anyway. So, done too many stupid things over the years that I lived through.
Yeah.
But
I was finding out I'd saying people stuff like things that like nothing major exciting, but some stuff with like underground bands or whatever. And I'm telling people about it, and I think to myself, I sound like I'm making things up. You know what I mean? You worry when you tell people a story. I worry that they're thinking, did you actually do that? You know what I mean? You kind of like if you've got too many stories, people don't tend to believe you. I think.
Yeah, that's why I always say if I didn't have pictures, video, and witnesses, I wouldn't believe my own bullshit. Yeah. I got witnesses.
It's like I got stupid stories. Like one time we were supposed to play with this band. They were quite big. They were coming over for a big gig, and we were supposed to do a warm-up gig for them. They took one look at the stage and walked out and said, "No, I can't be bothered." But they were using the reason we got that gig is they wanted to use our drum kit. So our drum kit was like playing on this big stage, and like when you tell me, "Oh yeah." So and so used our drum kit when they played at the Astoria in so and so. They were like, yeah, okay, whatever. And I just remember things I say, oh yeah, I used to run a metal club and did this and did that. And after a while, you think, I wonder if people actually think I'm just making shit up. You know what I mean?
And it's just small world stuff. People just don't realize, It's like, hey, you were just in a small club, maybe on London's East End or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, but they always go there. There's stories. Everybody has stories. Oh, I ran into so-and-so at this bar.
Yeah.
Why were they there?
Yeah.
Well, anything could have brought them there. Anything. I'm in the middle of Indianapolis. I have no business seeing all these people, but there's no telling what brought them in. Up till a few years ago, I had a great Bill Cosby story till he got arrested.
Yeah, no, you can't tell about the story where you partied with him all night, I guess.
No, there's this hotel in town. Like when I used to go collect my thoughts, the upper restaurant's 20 stories up and it rotates. And I used to go like hang out and have lunch there. Or I'd go up like in the top stories of this place. They'd have an interior atrium, and I'd just go look down, and they'd have these glass elevators going up, and I
can't do that.
I just use it as my zen to go collect my thoughts. And I'm leaning over the 19th floor, just looking down. Now, mind you, it's a private floor, but I had the ends. I wasn't standing there, but I had the ends, and I'm just leaning down off there so people doesn't bother me. And Bill Cosby walks up to me and asks me what I'm looking at, and I'm standing in front of his room while I was doing it. And I said, I'm just people watching, and he was in the hotel room right behind me in town for some kind of business convention he was guest speaker at. And I stood there talking to Bill Cosby for 45 minutes about people watching and just life when he was normal. Who knew he was a rapist back then? But yeah, and it was just me and him. But that same hotel, 1986. I'm with my buddy, end of 85, beginning 86. They had a video game room on the 3rd floor, and we were downtown dicking around. Stopped in there to go to the bathroom. Beauty. Stopped in there to go to the bathroom and decided to play some video games. And we're just standing there playing a video game, and these two, like 10-year-old kids come running in there screaming, asking for my autograph.
Why?
And I'm just laughing because these kids immediately think I'm Sting. Immediately.
Oh yes, I think we said that before. Yeah.
I mean, there was no convincing them. So I put on a little Cockney accent. I had a good laugh, and they're like, "Can we have your autograph?" And I signed Sting and with a Roman numeral 2 by it as a joke, because I thought it'd be funny. And these kids ran back to their parents, and about 15 minutes later, the parents come walking in with security.
Oh God.
And they're like, why were you talking to our 10-year-old kids? And I said, they ran up to me for my autograph. And they said, who are you? And I said, I'm nobody. They mistook me for a rock star.
Yeah.
Well, who are you? I said, they thought I was Sting. And they're like, what the hell is Sting? That just sounds stupid. And the security guard's like, this is moronic. He had no idea what it was talking about. This old fuddy-duddy guy. And this is, oh God, I said 86 when I was with Chuck when this happened. When this happened, it was 82. It was or 83. This was the.
What the hell could the parents have to say about it? You didn't go running over to the kids. The kids came running over to you.
Yeah, the kids come running to me, but the security and this old fuddy-duddy dude take us downstairs. And they're like, well, we're calling in the police. And they take us down to the security room. And I'm like sitting there explaining to them, I'm like, you people are dumbasses. I didn't approach no little kids. They wanted an autograph. They thought I was somebody famous. And this guy had no idea who I was talking about. No idea. Yeah. And I'm sitting there, and they're getting ready to call the cops. And one of the valet parkers walks in the room. And he stops, and he went, holy fuck, Sting, how cool. Can I have your autograph? And the guy went, get the fuck out of here. He's like, you have to look at this guy, and he goes, that's not Sting. I don't know who Sting is, but that's the second time in 15 minutes that's happened to that guy. But the valet walked in and started screaming for my autograph, and I'm like, I'm not fucking him. Instead, I played a little joke on these kids. Sometimes it's like, this is my hometown. I signed an autograph as a joke. Yeah. But I've been chased out of places in my hometown.
They won't take you down to the security room. You haven't bloody done it. If you've not bloody done anything, it's daft, isn't it?
I mean, it did look a little shady. I wasn't a hotel patron. I was just playing a game, but I was clear with them. I'm like, we were futzing around downtown, stepped in here to go to the bathroom, stepped up to play a video game.
Maybe because Yeah, okay, because you wasn't actually staying at the hotel. They thought you were a bit. They wanted to double check. I suppose you wanted to be sure. I guess.
Yeah, and nobody had heard of him. Nobody. The parents hadn't heard of the police. The security guy hadn't heard of the police. But when that valet walked in and just lost his shit, everybody in the room just took a sigh of relief and just laughed their asses off. They're like, "Just get the fuck out of here."
You always got taken to the police for looking like someone from the police.
But yeah, I mean, I could back in the day, I couldn't go a day without being mistaken for him, and it's like I fucking live here, people. How do you not know who I am?
Do you know martial law? You ever read martial law?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I love martial law.
Is that Phil Winslade or is that pre Phil Winslade?
No, I don't think Bill Winslow was ever on it, was he? Martial law.
I thought he was on the later. He's done it later. I mean, he's still posting pictures of stuff he's done with it, but that was later. He wasn't on the early stuff.
No, I don't think he hasn't been in any actually for years. He'll probably mix it up with someone else. I've never heard of him. Especially Kevin O'Neill done martial law that I've ever seen.
Yeah, yeah, the original stuff, but I don't know. Phil puts out a lot of stuff and
What's his name? Bill.
I don't know if they're original art pages, so I know he's done something in some book, but
His name's Bill Slade.
huh?
His name's Bill Slade.
Winslade, W-I-N Slade.
Bill Winslade.
Phil Winslade.
Okay, I'm gonna look him up. Never heard of him.
Did Howard the Duck for Marvel, did a lot of 2000 AD stuff. He's your neighbor.
He's British, is he?
Yeah.
Because I don't think there's been any martial law stuff for ages.
I could have swore it was fairly recent.
But if it is, I need to look it up and probably buy it if there has been something. So I don't think there has. Let's have a look. Kevin O'Neill. No.
Huh. Could have swore one of the most recent postings I saw was a piece of original art he did with martial law on it.
This is different characters. There's another character here who's got martial law written next to his name, but it's like not the same character. So I wonder if maybe there's a. It says Tekken martial law. Is there a Tekken character called martial law?
I don't know. I could have swore but I thought it was actual martial law because he talked about some stuff he was working on, and like I could have sworn the last thing I saw was martial law because he did some odds and ends dread stuff, and I love his Howard the Duck run, that like Howard the Duck series 3 or whatever.
Oh, is that the kind of modern one with some kind of like weird garish kind of? There's one with a mouse that looks like a
yeah. That's Phil Winslade. Yeah.
Okay.
That's Phil Winslade.
Interesting.
And when he changes and his nose turns up in Beverly Snooch. Yeah.
No, you lost me there.
He's in a shower with his girl and he changes into the mouse and his nose goes right into her cootie.
Oh, right. No, I actually read the inside. I only saw the cover. I was never into Howard the Duck. I remember reading a few of the old ones as a kid, and I'm just not really feeling it, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely a mood comic. So you got to be feeling it to be into Howard.
Same with the Eternals as well. I remember reading some of the Eternals. I was like, yeah, these aren't really grabbing me.
If stuff gets too heady, I'll put it down for a while. If it's just pure escapism, I'll go Howard the Duck and stuff. Jimbo.
Supposed to be like some underground comic.
No. So how many people we still got with us now after Roger left?
Oh, just one, mate. Oh, zero now. It's gone down to zero. We've got everyone's gone. That's probably going to be much like our future shows.
I don't know. We get bodies in. We'll get the names in. Hype the names, and
We'll see.
I'm pretty sure if I can coax Bill Sienkiewicz into making an appearance, that'll get a few people. And it may be rewatches before they figure it out. And, it just depends on the names we get in there. I get Mick Jones on here, I'm gonna drive people nuts. But even my mom got stuff going on today, but she's like, I'm sure to rewatch it because your friend is just so entertaining. And so she's my number one fan, but she's a big fan of yours and Matilda's too. So
she like the sweary grey man, the angry grey man version.
Oh, that just tickles her to no end. She's like, you're right in the middle of a Monty Python skit, for fuck's sake. I'm like, yep, pretty much. That's what it's like when I get with my buddies.
Yeah. I just looking at part 4. It's part 4 of a comic, and I'm thinking to myself, do I want to buy this comic? It's Death Race 2020. The comic sort of reimagining of Death Race 2000.
Yeah.
And it's by Pat Mills, who did martial law and lots of 2000 AD stuff. I'm just looking at the art. I'm thinking wondering if I want to sort of try and get the whole run, but I'm not too sure I do. It's not really appealing.
I always try and figure out what it would have been like to collect over there, how wild American comics on a monthly compared to the weekly black and whites you guys were used to. I just couldn't imagine that.
Yeah. I was funny who managed it, but I don't know, because there was no like proper comic shops. It would only literally be whatever comics were in the newsagent.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if people. I mean, I didn't collect on that. I didn't really collect that much when I was a kid because I never had the money. I never had the pocket money for it. So literally, my comics I didn't start collecting comics properly till I got my first job, and then that comic shop opened down the road. Because I always got like comics here and there, and like pocket money and birthday money and all that kind of stuff. I'd go like the Forbidden Planet was the like. Before it turned into a big chain of shops, there was just one in London, and I'd go there, buy some 2000 AD reprints and that kind of thing. But yeah, I didn't actually start getting a monthly pull list. I think I was probably gone 18 by the time I got my first monthly pull list. So
yeah, well before comic shops, mine were on drugstores, on spinner racks, our old news agents.
Yeah.
And I used to spend $3 or $4 a month on 40 and 50-cent comics.
Yeah.
But I'd imagine the statute of limitations is well up. I used to steal 10 times the comics I bought.
Yeah.
I became a kleptomaniac with that for a while.
Well,
and I did it not because I had to, just because I felt like it. It was just a bored small town kid.
all I can say is you wasn't taking the lessons of the superheroes to heart, mate.
Oh, man.
I stood for the truth and the justice and not the American way because I wasn't American, but the good British decency and morals and values, and you wouldn't catch me stealing a comic book.
It took me a while to get my Captain America complex. I had a mentally retarded kid that was a neighborhood kid that I befriended. That, like, if people would pick on him, I'd get in fist fights. So I started getting that. Started turning into a good guy then, but I was still a prick of a kid.
Oh yeah, I was a good guy, but I wouldn't have been courageous though. I was never courageous.
I was definitely a prick of a late teenager.
Yeah,
but doing right before
than sticking up for other people.
But then I went into Marines, and again, I was altruistic, I was giving, I was a protector, but I was still a prick. And up until about 15 years ago, I was a world-class prick.
Yeah.
But not a prick to be a prick. It's just I didn't need people in my life. I just chose to have them there. And when relationships went sour, I just took a walk. Is that straight up Frazetta or that is Death Dealer, right? Yeah. You've seen my issue of that with the Frazetta stamp on it, haven't you?
Possibly.
I've got a stamp on one of those, but that's usually reserved for only the signed issues, but there's no signature on it.
I think this is a
But there's a
present.
gold stamp on it.
I remember now. So this was some well-known artist. I remember seeing.
Looks like Julie Bell.
This is like an alternate cover.
Yeah, if I had to make an educated guess, that looked like Julie Bell.
No, Boris Vallejo. Of course.
Her husband.
Boris Vallejo, yeah.
Yeah, that's her husband.
Oh, is he? I didn't know that.
So, yeah. I knew that came out of that studio, obviously.
Yeah, he did some great art.
But yeah, Boris and Julie, they're a hell of a tag team.
Okay. He must be getting on a bit now, isn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're doubtering old fogies.
Yeah. What's your artistic skills like? You ever been able to draw?
You never seen my picture of my hippie buddy?
What you draw?
You know that hippie? I showed you my hippie picture earlier with the young guy and the old guy with the cane.
Yeah, that was a photograph, though, wasn't it?
Huh?
That was a photograph.
Yeah, but I'll show you. I'll show you a drawing I did of him. It's actually a juxtaposition of him and a few other people, but it's mainly he was my basis and inspiration for it. But that right there.
Oh yeah. he looks a lot like my housemate's dad, actually.
It's one of my old hippie buddies that died a couple of years ago.
He died a couple of years ago now, but he was massively into Hawkwind.
Oh, there you go. Lemmy.
Yeah, long beard. He liked to smoke fancy cigarettes. He rolled himself, that kind of thing.
Yeah. So, are you impressed with my British knowledge when you say Hawkwind? I immediately know Lemmy and know these comic book artists from over there.
Yeah.
I've got a bit of the British knowledge. So
they were tied in quite a lot with Michael Moorcock, weren't they?
Yeah. Yep. I got a lot of Michael Moorcock stuff up there too.
Yeah, because Hawkwind, he did art for him, didn't he? And I think he wrote some lyrics, even one around about Elric Sword, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of Elric, old John Byrne amateur work, I got the other amateur Byrne work I've got is a whole Elric series that he did for Windy City Comics with Moorcock.
Well, that's why my housemate's name's Elric, because his dad was so much into the Hawkwind, and by association, Michael Moorcock, he called him Elric.
I've got the Elric paperbacks with Jeffrey Catherine Jones covers. I got to switch those around and put those on display. Then I've given away all my Plastic Mans. Like the last package I sent up to Hillary had a Plastic Man issue signed from my buddy up in Canada that I shipped up to him. I just ordered the 4-issue set of his run of Plastic Man that I might have laid up behind me for our little interview time, have his art and let him and Mark do most of the talking, have a good laugh and see where it goes. And his cat. Eric is.
Whose cat is called? Oh, Elric. Elric hasn't got a cat. Not my Elric, anyway. Not my housemate Elric. He hasn't got a cat, as far as I'm aware. If he has, it's he's keeping it hidden.
Elric has a pussy. You just don't know it. But yeah, my housemate needs to make an appearance on here one day. I can't keep talking this shit until she makes an appearance and I can go, look at this cutie.
Your missus, yeah?
She's like, nope, if I wanted a fan base, I'd start an OnlyFans. I'm like, yeah, well, hell yeah, but walk behind me and look cute for a minute, just so I ain't talking shit.
I started OnlyFans if I thought I could make any money out of it.
I'm so averse to money, I'm not going to know what to do if I get monetized on here.
Oh, don't worry, mate. It won't change nothing. You know, unless you take off massively, being monetized won't make any difference to your life.
I've spent my life going out of my way to not take off and get famous because it'd be easy to do. I've walked
Right.
away from more six-figure jobs than I care to count. I've walked away from millions on 3 different occasions on purpose. Drives people nuts, but it's like, nope, wasn't mine, didn't earn it. The first 2
No.
times it would have happened, it would have gone straight up my nose. I'd be dead right now. I'd
Right.
have been all coke and whores and just wasted my life. And
Yeah. No, I was never into any of those kind of things. A few beers too many over the years, but no drugs. I've never been interested in drugs, to be honest. I had the odd bit here and there, but it's not been something that I've sought out on my own accord.
yeah,
Mainly the evil influence of a big brother. We like to experiment with such things, but it wasn't really my cup of tea. Got some old UK comics to show you. Oh, you've disappeared. I won't show you them then. The balance lost. That was the. Oh, here he is. He's back.
trying to look at the chat and it.
All right, mate. Disappeared.
Yeah,
Disappeared. I was just going to show you some old UK comics. I used to get this one as a kid. My dad used to buy this one for me. This is number 1 from 1977. It's
cheeky, nice.
Cheeky Weekly, it was called.
Yeah, that's Hillary style. That's why he's got a British fan base because that's his preference, the style.
It was quite a good sort of conceit in this magazine because it'd be like, whereas most other comics they had like 1-page stories all the way through, 1 or 2-page stories. This was like set out like it was called Cheeky Weekly, and it was basically going through his week. So you've got Sunday, and he'd meet all the different characters along the way. So each of the characters that he met would have their own little jokes, kind of thing. And then, like one night of the week, he'd go up into the loft and look for his dad's old comic book collection, and you'd actually read a snippet from a story from an old comic book. And on Saturday, he used to go to the Saturday morning pictures, and they'd see and another strip would be like what he saw at the cinema, kind of thing. There was a character who was an Arab who was like, multi-millionaire Arabs, and his name was Mustafa Million. That's one of the characters that was on there.
Very cool.
And this is him on Mondays sneaking a look at someone's TV. And that's what turns into the next story, which is the $6 million Gran.
Very cool.
Yeah, just daftness. I haven't actually I bought these. Like this is the one, number 1. I never had number 1 back in the day, but I had like quite a lot of them. I ended up selling them all on eBay. Then I saw this going cheap, but it had number 1 in it that I never actually got. I got the badge from like issue number 3, the Cheeky Weekly badge. I think I've still got that somewhere.
Nice. I still got my Captain Britain number 1 with the mask in it. Well, the mask broke off, but it's still got the mask.
I haven't got that. I don't mind Captain Britain number 1.
I've got a few old Beanos and Wizards and stuff, but I don't have any Cheeky Weeklies.
He's going up into the loft, and there he is reading a comic from his dad's collection. So you see him
awesome.
It's like an very old.
Awesome. Yeah, that's very Hillary style right there.
Yeah, from 1949. So it's quite a good concept. I quite liked it. I've not actually got around to reading them though, but maybe one day. When I was shopping the other day, there was like big pack of like old Victor comics, like for £4 for a pack of about 10 or something like that. I was really tempted to buy one, but then I was tempted to buy one. I thought maybe I could give it out as like AOKs to people or whatever. But I imagine like Americans, like you don't see them there, would be like more.
Yeah, I love stuff like that. It's just, I mean, they're inexpensive there, but then shit, you got to pay £20 to ship them over here.
Yeah, there's that. Yeah. And this is him at the cinema Sunday. He went to see Space Family Robinson.
Nice. You saw my old Chaplin Kinema stuff from the 1925 thing that came out of the London Museum.
Is there any fandom that you've not got into? Wizard and Chips?
I've got a wizard and chips issue here.
Okay.
I've
That
got
was
one. I've got one wizard or one or two wizards because,
yeah.
like, when I first started in the London Loves Comics group in 2017, they'd send me stacks of AOKs with wizards and ADs and Beanos and
Yeah. There was the $6 million man was very popular. You just had the $6 million grand, and here you've got the 12.5 pence Bitonic boy.
oh well,
Right?
there you go.
He bought a magic tonic for 12.5 pence, and when he drinks it, it gives him super like basically bionic powers almost.
I never understood a half pence.
No, that was back in the. So this is this Wizard Chips. You've got the Crazy Gang, and the Crazy Gang is where Tiki comes from. Tiki was a member of the Crazy Gang, and then he got his own comic book. You can see him there.
Nice. They probably got sued by Crazy Cat for that name.
What Tiki?
The Crazy Gang.
Oh, Crazy Gang. Maybe was there, and then you know the you think you mentioned the Beano there, the Bash Street Kids, and Plug was one of the guys from the Bash Street Kids.
Nice.
And he had his own comic book for a while. Percival Proudfoot Plugsley is his full name.
Nice. Yeah. When I was pulling out them coins, I probably should have pulled out that 1769 Irish halfpenny I got up there. Halfpenny. I can't say halfpenny right, but
No.
I don't know. I try to do it, and then I turn into Mr. Humphreys because I'm always quoting, "Are you being served?" all the time too. So
I'm free.
I'm free. Are you free? I'm free.
There's nothing better than some threepenny bits, mate. And if you know Cockney rhyming slang, you know that threepenny bits are lovely.
Beezer.
The beezer and cracker.
I
What happened?
am a beezer and a cracker, or a geezer.
Yeah, some of the old names are quite funny. Like there's like kind of like words that no longer really blinking are used anymore. Like a beezer, I'm sure that used to mean something. Oh dear. But that's probably the cracker. Probably was another comic book that like closed down, and so it merged with Beezer. And so for a while it'd be Beezer and Cracker. Then after a few months, they'd get rid of the Cracker and just go to being Beezer again. So he got Topper and Sparky. Sparky would be a comic that was kind of absorbed by Topper. They're all run by the same company. They never got enough blinking sales, then absorb it into the more popular comic book, keep the best characters, the most beloved characters, and then after a while they'd phase out the second name and just make it, whatever the main comic book was, kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, you talk about something I have trouble over here getting is anything that handles the right size sleeve to put in it, any 2000 ADs or any of those. I try not to fold them.
Right.
Like I could get them, but they cost an arm and a leg to get. But
quite cheap here, to be honest. Because I was looking into trying to get mine properly bagged and boarded, and like it's like I sort of give up on them. Actually, it's a bit pricey. I don't think I'll bother. So
I mean,
yeah,
they have old Life magazine covers and bags and boards for that, and it's so much bigger. But at least I got them protected and covered up. So
yeah, you can put them in and fold them, I suppose.
Ooh.
I need to sort mine out at some point. All mine, I'd love to have a more complete run of 2000 AD, but I don't know if I'm ever going to get around to reading them again,
Uh-oh, the humans are back, and there's a happy dog.
Yeah, you've been out walking the dog, have they?
I'm out in the backyard with the dog and my son and
I can hear claws on
little grandson's about to come back here and grab my he's about to come back here and grab my stand here. Where is he? You want to come say hi? Come see Papa. Nope, he don't want to come see Papa.
Thank you.
He closed the door and ran away.
I've got important kiddie things to be getting on with.
I'm gonna see if he wants to be on TV with Papa. I bet he's gonna tell me no and run away. But
my Conan's a big bag.
Phoenix, you want to be on TV with Papa?
All right. Those are the magazines.
No. He says no. Now my grandson Alistair, when he's over, he likes being on TV, but little Phoenix doesn't on TV.
my comic books, they're not all bagged and boarded still. They're not all. Like, by the time I sort of really knew about bags and boards and saw people using them all the time, I already had loads of comics just naked in the boxes, kind of thing, like no covers at all. And now it's like I can't afford to buy bags and boards full of them and still keep buying comic books. So I'd rather buy comic books. So I've got some that of like 5 or 6 in one bag kind of thing with no board, like inside boxes, quite a bit.
That was one of my major accomplishments somewhere between like 2015 and 2017, somewhere in there. Now I'd put them front to back, which isn't good for them, but I don't know how long I'd keep them in there. But for the first time in 40 years, I had every comic bagged and boarded to some degree for the first time in 40 years.
Yeah.
And now everything's in some form of conservation.
Yeah.
So
Buy back the board as you go, but when you've already got like thousands of comic books or whatever, it's like it's not really possible, is it?
if I had to educate a guess right now, I'd say I have between 7,000 and 8,000 books. Probably a little bit more than that.
I've definitely got more than that. I had over 10,000 a couple of years back.
Yeah,
not
there's Mr. Mark right there. How you doing, Hanson? Mr. Spain Chestnuts.
Oh, we've got 6 people watching again now. Everyone disappeared.
Oh, God. Right when I was about to say, hey, I got to go tinkle and maybe do some stuff. But if we got a crowd, I'm going to stick around.
Okay.
I don't know if I can go back up there and whip out any more comics, but.
We've done an hour and a half already, blimey. It didn't feel like an hour and a half. We don't be talking about anything much, have we? Especially talking nonsense. If you want to come in, Mark, you're welcome to. I can give you a link if you want, but I know you're busy there in España.
He needs to at least pop in and say hi, show his pretty face, put the 3 of us on screen together.
If you want to.
Needs to talk about.
Noreen should hang out sometime. If you ever want to hang out sometime on a stream, Noreen, get in touch. Oh, he's eating Spanish chestnuts. Okay. That sounds potentially rude.
Will you do it sexy for us live, Mark?
Probably not. I wouldn't have thought so. Is that like hot chestnuts like we have in the UK? I've never heard of Spanish chestnuts. Is that like hot chestnuts that you have roasted on an open fire at Christmas time?
Messy Quesnuts, everybody. Messy Quesnuts.
Right.
What's that from?
I have no idea.
The Blackadder Christmas special through time.
All right. I don't remember him saying that.
Yeah, that's the one where they traveled through time. That was the BBC special.
Yeah.
And it was messy. He made him a card that said Messy Quesnuts, and Quesnuts was KWETZ and UTZ. He's like, you spelled Christmas and didn't get a single letter right in it, Baldric.
All right, yeah. So that was Baldric then, I guess.
So yeah, but yeah, that's when he was. It was basically their take on Scrooge. Yeah. And they did a past and a future one when he walked out in like a G-string.
Yeah, that was, you're mixing 2 up too. You're mixing 2 together there. There was the Christmas one where they did the
Christmas was a holiday special. That was all from the
time travel one. The time travel one was the Millennium one, especially done for the year 2000 Millennium celebration. And then you had the Christmas one, which was like done like a Christmas Carol, where he's past, present, and future.
Okay.
2 different ones. I think you're conflating the 2 together.
Yes, they're falling. You got nuts falling on you there, Mark. Come on, Mark. Make an appearance.
Yeah, I think he's busy. He's probably with his missus. He's not.
Oh yeah, he's definitely chilling with his missus with his feet up.
No one with any sense says, I'm going to stop hanging out with you now and go and hang out with some random people online. It's not.
Yeah. My wife, a couple years back, my wife bought me the DVD set of all the Blackadder stuff for Christmas that had everything, the specials, when they came back for Red Nose Day, had all of it on there. And before I even opened it up, my buddy was brokenhearted because he was going to get it and couldn't find a way to get it. Before I even opened it, I'm like, I'm making this as Christmas present. And I wrapped it up and gave it to him.
Oh God.
I never even watched it after that.
Oh,
So I was just like, no,
well.
there you go. Pay it forward because that's the kind of goofball I am. And my wife's like, well, what am I going to get you for Christmas now? I said, you did get me something for Christmas. I just paid it forward.
Oh, right.
That was my Christmas gift that I paid forward. Because if I have something somebody else really would appreciate even more than me, there you go. So,
Okay.
and hopefully, if they have things like that and they're like, hey, you appreciate that more, here you go. That's my little way of changing the world one little bit at a time.
Yeah, it's like a drop in the ocean, though, mate. I'm not sure it's going to have an effect on the overall world, maybe.
My old history teacher had this saying, and I got in trouble for this, and then I also became his favorite student and changed his life perspective of that. He grew up this stickler, and when he was at university, his professor had told him this about history, and it became his mantra. And here is my second to last year of school. When I heard this, I was utterly offended. But he said, "You take life and you think of history as a bucket of water.
Right.
You take your hand, you stick it in a bucket of water, you take it out. With whatever happened to the water, the little ripples or whatever it made, that's your mark on history. You're gone."
Right.
And I took total offense, and I stood up and I said this in class. I said, well, I'm going to stand up, shove my hand in that bucket of water and rip it out so fucking hard. I didn't even realize I'd cussed at the time. I said, I'm going to rip it out so fucking hard. Half the water's going to come out, spill over the edge. It's going to be running down my arm. The world's going to know who I am. And jaws were on the floor because I was offended he said that. I was like, no, I'm going to make a mark in history. And it just dumbfounded him. Like, he was like, yeah, well, you're maybe one of those ones that will. He says, but in general,
Yeah.
you really don't make a difference. But he says, if more people said they really would make a difference in the world, it just kind of changed his perspective. But if they're all still button down Trumper type, zealously religious, which I don't begrudge them. If you're a good human, just
Yeah.
be a good human in your spot. Don't put your shit on my spot. And I
Yeah.
make them crazy because I've been an ordained minister for over 20 years. I'm a monk.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
I'm a
You said you're a Buddhist.
I'm a Buddhist monk. I'm a Sufi fakir.
Okay, I didn't realize you're
Um,
ordained.
I am literally ordained across the board. I am a man of the cloth,
Only ever performed
but
any weddings?
I weddings, funerals,
You've done,
healings, all
you've
that.
done weddings and funerals, have you?
Quite a few,
All
more
right.
funerals than weddings, all the above. I'll send you
Okay.
pictures of a couple weddings I performed. But I'm all about the peace and love and the real aspect of it. I'm the clergy. I meant to take down my clergy sign that goes in my car window because they keep wanting me to work at hospitals. I can work one every 3 days. They got 3 clergy in rotation every 3 days in a hospital. It doesn't matter what day of the week it is. Every third day you work 24 hours. The other 2 days you're completely off. But for 24 hours, you're in the hospital on call, walking families through somebody dying.
Right.
And that's a shitload of money, and I won't take it because it's like I've been doing it too much. I wouldn't want to do it 24 hours a day. You have
No.
to be well versed in things, bring in Jewish people when you need to, bring in different religions, but you consoling families when people are dying. It's like, one, I don't want to make money off doing that. Two, I don't want to burn out on it.
Yeah. Can't imagine it's
But
yeah, I
I
don't think
mean,
it's something else
I'm
I
all
could do.
I'm all into metaphysics and all that shit. If you want to laugh, I'll send you pictures of me laying on beds of nails, walking across fire, walking across broken glass.
Right.
One of the
So,
biggest metaphysical communes on this side of the world's
so
basically 20 miles north of me.
it sounds like the origin story for a superhero, mate. Like you should have learned the ancient art or something, and you could have been a superhero.
Well, I've I've won 33 fights in Junior League MMA,
Okay, hi Ken.
so I can kind of fight. I am a degreed.
Yeah.
I am degreed at martial arts, but it's stupid. I mean, I was all about the whole Miyagi thing. When that came out, I couldn't quit laughing. You know, they're like, "Do you have black belt?" It's like, "Yeah, to hold up my pants." You know, I'm not into that ballet shit. You know, I'm into, I'm Jeet Kune Do. You put a brick in front of me and I'll crack it. You know, I'll punch through a board. That's why I don't punch people, because I could snap bones. I don't want to, you know. But I did a minor league MMA fighting in the 90s
Right.
out of boredom. I couldn't have been a pro. I wasn't good enough. I could have trained to be a pro, but I never was that good at the time. But I bodyguarded people like Barack Obama
Yeah.
and Benjamin Netanyahu.
Yeah.
I ain't something to sneeze at. Even in my broke down state, I ain't something to sneeze at. But I ain't no badass superhero type. It's just, I hear gunshots, I run towards it. Somebody
Right.
swings on me, I start breaking bones, you know. But then I had this Captain America complex where, I used to try and save my friend with MR, and then I just protect people. I was a bully's worst nightmare. Then I went on to become a thing that scares people, scares bad people. I'm a good guy that scares bad people. And I scare bad people. And I make jokes about it because I literally do. I'm the kind of guy, you've heard of the 1,000-yard stare and shit like that. And people get that from being shell shocked and things like that. But
Yeah.
I can click that on and off like it's nothing. That's how I could work out in the Marines. That's how most military guys get good at that, is you got an on off switch. I'm an utter pacifist until I don't have to be. And then I don't care if I thin the herd.
Oh God.
I don't care. I could go.
Okie dokie.
So,
All right. Well, hopefully that opportunity never arises where you feel the need to do that.
and that's why I'm happy it never happened. I've gotten out of so many fights because of that, because I look people dead in the eyes. Like when I bodyguarding for the Kings of Leon, and these three drunks at a bar got
Yeah.
pushy with the dainty little lead singer because their girlfriends were flirting with him and they had a small dick syndrome. And I told him, I said, I'm your shadow. I'm behind you, but I'm not going to interrupt anything you're doing. But if something goes wrong, just got to give me a tap.
Yeah.
And he taps, and I just instinctively pulled him around behind me. And I turned from where I was, and I'm facing three drunk guys. And I said, "What's your problem?" And they went, "Sir, we don't have a problem with you." I said, "Do you have a problem with him?" And they said, "Yeah." And I said, "Then you got a big fucking problem with me." And three big drunk dudes immediately backed down, because I'm like, "We're not going to do this. You're going to end up in jail, and I'm going to break parts of your body while you're dropping, and you're going to jail, and I'm getting a thank you from the owner of the bar. Leave." And they left, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, you saved my life. You did this." And I'm like, "No, I stood down three drunks, and I was sober, and they knew I meant business, because it's like
Yeah.
they're gonna like pussy smack at this little guy, and they're like, well, here's a guy that could open me up and laugh about it when I drop, and then have me arrested, and the owner of this place is going to tell them they did it and let me get off
Yeah.
because I'm security." And I developed a reputation through all them. And they're like, "You ain't scared of shit." I'm like, "I ain't scared of three drunks in a bar. Worst thing they're going to do is hit me with a bottle, and they ain't getting out of there without being arrested." And I don't know how much is going to show up, but I got a dent in my head right there from a Jack Daniels bottle. Got a divot in
Ouch.
my head right there from a pool cue. Got stabbed in the face right there.
Wow.
Been shot right over here.
We got questions. We got questions. Q&A from the audience. Who wins, Superman or Hulk?
Doesn't matter how angry Hulk gets, Superman would eventually win, but Thor would just wipe the floor with Superman.
No. Why do you think that? Why do you think Thor would
He's
write the
based
floor of
in magic.
Superman?
Thor's based in magic.
He's based in mythology, and he's got
But
a magic hammer.
it's
But
that magic hammer. Superman can't do nothing with it because it's magic.
No, but he's only weak against magic. He's not completely helpless against it. So
Doctor
he'll be
Strange
affected.
Doctor
He'll be
Strange could
affected, but I
turn
don't think he'll be
Superman.
affected anymore. Yeah, Doctor Strange might be able to. It depends
Doctor
what spell he
Strange
uses.
could turn him into silly putty, you know.
Crimson Bands or Cyterac would be able to hold Superman, for example.
Yeah.
So yeah,
But yeah,
I don't agree with Thor. Thor's hammer would what's Thor hammer's magic? It hits him, he just does powerful blows, but he doesn't make him. He's not like he doesn't lose his invulnerability.
but
So it'd be a good fight, but I don't think it would automatically be Thor. You know,
they've overpowered Superman too much. He needs
yeah.
he needs to be world class, but he needs to be able to be beat by somebody like World Breaker Hulk. But again, it'd be a good fight for a little while. But if Superman doesn't pussyfoot around, he'd beat anybody.
I'm not sure what Superman's power levels are now, but yeah, he's more reasonable now, isn't he? Like they after the crisis, they made him more reasonable.
I mean, how's Hulk going to beat him when Superman can grab him by the ankle and throw him in the sun? You know, in the fight, done. So,
Thor versus Darkseid, who wins?
Even overpowered Darkseid's a little much, but as long as he doesn't hit him with the Omega beams, Thor would knock him out.
Maybe. I don't know. He can go toe to toe with Superman in a fist fight, can't he? He's gone toe to toe with Superman, right? But that's the whole thing with like comic books, though. They just basically whoever wins is whoever the story requires to win. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's the power levels are all over the shop, aren't they? That always makes me laugh. Like when they've got so many different like ultimate powerful devices in Marvel. And like, who decides who beats what? Is the power cosmic more powerful than the armband, the wristbands of like Quasar and?
I mean, they definitely nailed it in the first time Fantastic Four beat Galactus with the ultimate nullifier. It's like, come on, it's kind of mailed that one in.
It's like I'm sure recently I've read Warlock on the Infinity Watch, and I've read the Guardians of the Galaxy. And in one of the comics, like the Living Tribunal and Eternity and that, they were kind of scared of. I think they were scared of him when he had the Infinity Gauntlet. But then in the Guardians of the Galaxy, there's a kid called Protege who was able to sort of copy any power he saw, and he was like, I think he got the Beyonder's power. He saw the Beyonder and he made a copy of the Beyonder's power. But for some reason, the Living Tribunal wasn't scared of them. So it's like they don't write the power levels consistently. I don't think against amongst all the different devices and characters that they have. It's that's comics for you. Basically.
Once you power them up, then you got to build better villains, and it's next to impossible to build a better villain.
Yeah, and that's the other thing as well. Like every time, like when it comes to villains, first appearance of a villain, there'll always be a challenge. There'll always be a challenge because that's the interesting. And then later on, subsequent appearances, they get, like for example, Killer Croc. Killer Croc, when he first came in, Batman was scared of him for a while, and he was like but now like Batman takes that Killer Croc in like a panel or two,
Buffy. Yep.
Yeah. No, I think Noe Red may be a Silver Surfer fan.
Yeah. Pretty hard not to be a Silver Surfer fan, but again, it's little too Jesus, but just a little too much. I mean,
I never thought that, but
the way to sum it up is, Stan Lee literally wanted to make him like the white power Space Jesus, but that What If Volume 2, like number 6, when Mephisto gets him in hell.
No.
And he finally says, all right, I give. And then now Mephisto's screwed because he can't stop the light and the light takes over hell.
No.
Little.
Yeah, no, I never read that. So I remember from the early.
Godlike
Mephisto first appears in Silver Surfer number 4 or something, doesn't he?
3.
Oh, number 3. So, yeah. So
4 is the Thor cover.
Oh, yeah, right, yeah.
Buffy, would you stop barking right here, dingy dog?
No, I'm trying to get
go over there. If you're going to bark, go over there.
Trying to get the 90s run of Silver Surfer.
Say hi to the TV. Look at this noisy ass dog. Come here.
What's
on
his
TV.
name?
Come here. This is Buffy. Come here, Buffy.
Buffy?
Come here. Look up. but she's a black
As in
lab,
the Vampire Slayer.
as in the Vampire Slayer. My son's a big Buffy the Vampire Slayer fan, so he named his black lab Buffy there.
Fair enough. Why not?
So, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes the cosmic characters get a bit too like heavy for me. But actually, other times they can be quite cool. But there is that whole thing with their ultimate powers, and all these things are supposed to give ultimate power. Then the power levels are not consistent. You know, it's like the Serpent Crown and the Cosmic Cube and the big Infinity Gauntlet, and
That's why I love Defenders 92 so much, because they got all these heavy hitters like Doctor Strange, the Hulk, Namor, Son of Satan, all these big hard hitters, and they're going up against eternity or pieces of eternity, and they're just getting their asses handed to them. And the one that wins the moment is Nighthawk when he's depowered and can't do anything.
okay,
But he's just like he appeals to the humanity of the moment. I don't want to give away the story, but I always
no,
look.
I've not read that one yet. I've got 4 more comics to collect to finish off my Defenders run.
Yeah. Oh, I'm a long way from that, but all mine are fillers. But I got Marvel feature. But in '92, it's Eternity wanted to know what it was like to be human, so it scattered pieces of itself out to live the human
That
experience.
sounds like a forerunner for the Beyonder. The Beyonder did that a few decades later, didn't he?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But three of these portions don't want to come back, and Eternity starts blinking out, and he pulls Doctor Strange to him and says, "Look, I can't find these 3.
Okay.
But if my pieces of me don't come back, Eternity's going to shatter into pieces, and then we're all gone." So things keep blinking out, and Namor and Valkyrie go after one of them, and he just kind of waves them away like it's nothing. Hulk tries to smash, waves them away like it's nothing. And then they're all right there at the end, and Nighthawk stops and goes, "Look, you have the love and adoration of all these people. You love being human, but you don't understand being human, because if you keep doing this, they're gone. They're erased.
Yeah.
So you have to understand human sacrifice."
If you love them, you have to go home.
Yeah. And they go home, and Eternity goes back to normal, and they sacrifice themselves to learn what it's like to be human. And it's like, I learned that in 1980. It's like, oh shit. Or early 81, end of 80, early 81. That comic hit me like a brick in the face. I was like, all right, now I need to go out and find out what it's like to be human. And the X-Men taught me, hey, I want to learn Russian. I want to learn all these languages. I want to meet people from all these cultures. I want to know. I want to study, and I want to save the world. But when you go into places and do disaster relief cleanup, here's a Marine horror story that just made me go nuts. We're walking along, and my commanding officer's walking with the governor of this province, and the main island of the Philippines on Luzon. They had a massive typhoon go through, and these third world countries, these families live in these shanties that they build out of like cardboard boxes out on the beaches, and they just panhandle to get by, and this people don't care about them. And there's an entire city that was just an entire row at his beach, just a city of people just completely obliterated. Nobody could sees any more of them up in the mountains or nothing. Just the typhoon took them away. And we're walking along, and my commanding officer's like, "What'd you lose? About 2,000 people here in the surrounding areas?" And they said, "No, we only lost a few people. We don't even count these people. We don't even care. They're gone. They're off the books. We don't care." I almost reached around and grabbed this guy and choked him to death.
Yeah.
I was like, "You son of a bitch." And these people were so destitute, they'd sell their
disregard for human life. Bloody hell.
Yeah. Yeah. And these people were so destitute, they'd try and say, "Here, you can have my daughter." This guy was pawning off his daughter, who couldn't have been 13 years old. And they're like, "She's 16, 17, whatever. You can have my daughter." And they weren't even looking for our food and our MREs. The guy was asking for a cardboard box that they came in. And he says, "You can have my daughter for this cardboard box for the night." Like, what the fuck, you know, because they could put that on their house. They could attach it to their house and make their house nicer. And I wanted to kill that fucking politician for saying that in my presence, and I couldn't. I would have gone to jail for a long time. But I thought, you son of a bitch, you deserve these people to kill you. And I'm telling you, if I didn't have control over that, I would have snapped his neck right there and been unapologetic about it. I was like, you worthless son of a bitch. And the problem is, there's just somebody else lined up behind him waiting to take his spot. And that's the third world. But, you know, I've had to go clean up disasters like that where we're pulling out body parts. That shit ain't fun.
No.
So, but yeah, that's where I've always kept my superhero complexes. I want to save the world, but I have some sense about me. But I came close. And in the book I wrote for my daughter, I said, anything you can do for the world, it's your responsibility to do it. You got 2 working arms, 2 working legs. You push a damn wheelchair. You see somebody struggling, you open a door for them. You do whatever. You do whatever it takes to make their life easier for the seconds you're in their presence. That's your responsibility as a human being. So if somebody says, oh, I'm offended, you open the door for me, it's like, I did it because I'm here and I can. It's out of respect. It's out of human love. You know, it's, if I'll hold it for older people, I'll hold it for women, I'll hold it for kids, I'll hold it for a man equal my size to say, I'm here in the moment. I've reached the door before you. I allow you to go in before me. Learn this, pass it on, so that I make this much of a difference. And if I do that 10 million times, it's 10 million times that.
It's very worse that well, you hold the door over someone, they don't even acknowledge you. That's always rankles me.
I don't give it a second thought. I'm like, well, at least they saw it. At least I did it. So
it's in your own mind. You know that you were good.
I'm not looking anything I've ever done. I'm not looking for kudos. I'm not looking for awards. I'm not looking for
simple acknowledgement that costs nothing. If you do that to someone, they don't even acknowledge that you've done it. It's like,
But if 1 out of 10 acknowledges it and I make the world a better place because they go up and do it, then I'm doing good. If 2 out of 10, great. 7 out of 10, great. If 9 out of 10, even better. Who cares about the one that didn't care? But if it happens to them enough, hopefully they go okay, and then the world gets that much better.
I've got to go and do my dinner, man. It's 10 o'clock at night. I've got to go and
do the same thing. So it's been fun. Let's do this every week then. So.
Yeah, it looks like that's a thing then. As from next week. We never got any names. We never got any prospective names. I should have pushed that. No, I've not read a Stephen King book for ages. But we'll talk about that kind of stuff, like say pop culture, anything really.
Yeah.
If anyone wants to come in, if you want to come in or in Red at some point, you know, message me on whatever, IG or Facebook, whatever.
Maybe Hillary will come up with a name next week or whatever. We'll get it figured out, and then like you said, we'll do the slinger time next week, and then bump it up an hour from there.
Yeah.
So, and then we're good from there. So,
all
right. Well, I appreciate everybody that watched here. Well, I don't want that to happen. Don't shut off. Let me see.
Cheers, everybody. See you next time, hopefully.
Yeah. So.